I don't want no man who beat down because I think I can make it as a single parent.
But don't you think you might need help in raising that baby from a man?
When men don't feel appreciated at home, they become the kind of person that women don't like.
They were already devaluing a man's purpose back then, especially in the household. Fathers. These are the same women, though, that call you a piece of shit when you're not around. I want to be very clear. You're not around, but I don't need you around. But you ain't around, so I'm a child support you. I'm a fuck you up. I'm gonna do what I need to do to make your life miserable because you ain't around. But I don't need you around, though.
The human race is divided in two distinct sexes, male and female. While the typical man is a simple creature, there exists a subgroup, the nice guy, a dying breed of chivalrous, romantic, domesticated gentlemen whose qualities are desired by the opposite sex, allegedly. However, they are dismissed and confined in such concepts as the bestie, work husband, and the dreaded friend zone. Joe, Jason, and Manny are the last of the nice guys.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day. Toodaloo. You tuned into another episode of Last of the Nice Guys podcast. I'm your host, Jason. that's Manny dicking around on camera. Oh my God. So, hey.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. We're just going to get right into it. Today's topic is baby mama culture. All right, let's get into it. Manny, what do you know about baby mama culture? I stumbled upon this term. I didn't hear this terminology from get-go. What do you know about baby mama culture before we get into it?
I didn't know that this was like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was just, people make mistakes and whatever, but I didn't know this was like a trend. So, I want to say I know, things about it because I got a couple baby mamas, but nah, I'm the hell was touching my foot. Sorry. I'm intrigued to know what this culture is about.
All right. So a baby mama, also known as baby mother or hyphenated baby dash mama, is a slang term for a mother who is not married to her child's father, although the term often carries other connotations as well. This term is associated with African Americans originally, coming from Jamaican Creole and finding its way into hip-hop music. Baby mama culture. Now, this is what this is about. Baby mama culture apparently is women. It's I wouldn't say institutionalization, but like a mantra, the Creole, the I don't need no man to raise my children kind of mode. Now, what inspired this? I can't find the video now, unfortunately, to play it for you guys, but it was called Black Women Then and Now, something like that. And basically, like several years ago, no, like in the 1970s, I think. Let me see if I can find it because it's actually very, very, very important. Actually, you know what? I know exactly who has it. Da 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 da. Hey.
I'm gonna sit here and say though, if you're saying that this is a culture mostly practiced in the, I'm sorry, my sisters, in the Black women culture, this is why you're losing the Black men.
Yep.
Okay?
Here it is.
This is why you go to Becky with the good hair because they know what's up.
Because there was
All right, here it is. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to hear this just fine.
I think that the only thing that's changed is the Black woman.
1972.
Because there was a time, let's say
I
my
remember that
mother,
video.
my aunts and things like that, they would say, okay, if that's the way you establish your manhood, I'm going to go for it. And my generation says, hey, no good. You must establish a new base. And we are as a group demanding that a new base be established. Why can't we try it my way? Lay down.
25 years ago, the Strong family was still the backbone of Black America,
1986.
and 3 out of 4 children had both parents at home. That is true no longer. Most Black children are now growing up without their fathers. Single women and the children they're rearing alone are the fastest growing part of the Black population. Why don't you plan to get there? I'd like to know that.
I don't want no man who beat me down because I think I can make it as a single parent.
But don't you think you might need help in raising that baby from a man?
Not really.
Male figures are not substantially important in the family.
I think that the only thing that's changed.
I want to make it very clear that the last thing that was said, and these were young Black women. That was the first one that was talking, 1976, and this is in 1980 something. It was 25 years later. And the last statement she said, this young Black woman says, I don't think males are substantial in the household. This is mind you, this is before the whole Me Too and transgender and women this and representation. This is back then. Okay, can you imagine how it is now? So they were already devaluing a man's purpose back then, especially in the household. Fathers. These are the same women, though, that call you a piece of shit when you're not around. I want to make it very clear. You're not around, but I don't need you around. But you ain't around, so I'm a child support you. I'm a fuck you up. I'm gonna do what I need to do to make your life miserable because you ain't around. But I don't need you around, though. Right. Baby mama culture basically is saying that it's taking the I don't need no man.
Men aren't needed, basically.
Huh? No, it's taking
men are needed.
Right. But baby mama culture basically stating it's taking the I don't need no man, idea and pushing it into the household, family, and child rearing. I don't need no man to be a father. I don't need no man to be a husband, that kind of a thing. And the consequences that's come. Now, what has really inspired this? There's a lot of violence going on in Chicago. That video I can't find. But part of it was that they said, what's going on in Chicago? It's a lot of Black youth that are rioting. And there's actually a video of a Black youth just beating up a white woman, just for the hell of it, And they said that one of the commentators, which was a Black man, said, you are looking at the reckoning. This is a reckoning. This is that baby mama culture, and this is the consequence of that, is that you have a whole bunch of Black youth in Chicago that grew up without fathers. And this is what happens. They have no role models. They have nobody to look up to, and they have a lot of pent-up frustration, and they're emotional, and this is what happens. So what's the initial response you can get? Well, these dudes dipped out. Did they all though? Did they really though?
That's not always the case.
Exactly. When a father's not around, you naturally assume he's a deadbeat dad. You naturally assume that he just didn't want to do what he wanted to do. But really, do we ever consider what, if anything, did the mother contribute to this man's decision to walk away? What did they contribute? I want to make it very clear. In my case, and I'm going to bring up my case, the stress that was put upon me voluntarily and most times unprovoked and definitely unnecessary. Lesser men would have walked and said, you know what, I don't got to deal with this shit. I'll pay child support. Let me get out of here. I don't want to deal with this. So when I say that I can understand why a man would just be like, you know what, this ain't worth it. Get out. Now I stuck around because it was the right thing to do, and because falling in love with kids and child rearing and all the other crap, all that good crap. But what I'm saying though is that because of my experience, I don't automatically say that guy's a deadbeat when he's not around. I don't automatically say that. I don't actually automatically believe a woman's words to begin with when they say the guy's a deadbeat, because not only is there always two sides to the story, but the woman's side is always skewed. Always skewed, because it's always about what was done to me and not what I did or how did I contribute to his behavior. I'm not, again, it's not victim blaming. It's not saying that just because you know the root of the situation that it makes what happened to you right. But what I am saying though is, did the motherfucker just get up one day and slap you across the face, or did you somehow provoke the situation in a way, or did you stick around when you saw that there was, you know what I'm saying, where was your culpability in it? We all are victims of our own consequence. And baby mama culture is probably the craziest thing I've ever heard. You are either actively trying to get pregnant by a dude to have your own kid with, I'd say to hell with him, or you value the father so little that you will probably actively push him aside or make him feel like he doesn't need to be involved. That's the kind of crap that I'm talking about. Now,
Right. And
how do you feel?
I feel that, you know, I posted a video not too long ago. It was a pastor who said that men don't feel appreciated when men don't feel appreciated at home, they become the kind of person that women don't like, or the partners don't like, or whatever. And then they often complain about it. But again, as you said, no one ever looks at the root of the problem.
They never ask why.
They never ask why you've changed, why this happens. And 9 out of 10 times, you know, relationships, marriages don't work because men just don't feel appreciated, because women, unfortunately, I shouldn't say women, but today's society teaches that the evaluation of men is necessary, which is sad, because no one's trying to say men have to be dominant, men have to be on top, men have to be in charge. No one's saying, I'm at least not saying that shit. I don't agree with that 100% anyways. But there needs to be an understanding that each gender, and I'm saying this in a hetero sense, I'm not trying to lash out at our LGBTQ.
No, we're being very we're just sticking to the traditional.
I'm generalizing it.
Yeah, traditional idea of family and issues.
There needs to be a baseline for each gender role. You know, men do something, women do something, and that's how you collectively create the family, and that's how you collectively have the marriage continue going. The problem is today's society has put it to the point that anybody can do whatever they can do if they put their mind to it. Now, I'm not saying that there's mothers out there that don't have the ability to be single parents and play both jobs, because there are very many women out there that do it well. I'm not saying it's perfect,
right? But they
do it.
To hop off of that though,
right?
We're not saying that they can't do it. But the question is,
but the mentality of
do they have to?
Do they have to?
Why do they have
want to?
Exactly.
Or they want to.
Even if they wanted to, but did they have to? Did they produce an aura that made this exist? Did you come into it and just, you know what I'm saying? Oh, for me, an involuntary single parent is the guy's abusive, the guy dies,
right?
The guy moves away. You know, something like that. That's what I'm an involuntary. But a lot of women, you know, it's sad because like this, and it's terrible. But I've seen some associates, right, in the past, and you knew who they were, and then they get pregnant, and you immediately say, "That's a future single mom."
I've said that a lot.
I've said that, and you know what I'm saying. And guess what? 100% of the time, I was correct. I was correct. I said, yep, that right there, shit. You don't know the guy, you don't know the situation, you don't see the picture, whatever, but you know that's going to be a single mom.
Yep.
No matter how long it's going to be, whether she finds somebody else or not, that's not the point. That's going to be a single mom. And it happens.
Yeah, it happens a lot. And I was just having a conversation with somebody recently that the thing that's crazy about today's world is everybody wants to be a parent, right? Or they don't want to be a parent and they become one anyways.
Right.
Now, on both sides of the spectrum, there's so many people that can't have babies that are very deserving to have a child. Yeah. And then on the other side, you have people that are capable of having kids that shouldn't be having children.
Yeah.
And that's what screws up society, because again, I want to have a baby. I could do it by myself. Fuck everybody, you know, whatever. And then look what happens.
Mm-hmm.
You have societies, or you have public displays of violence like you do in Chicago, because there's not a strong hand in the household to control that.
Not to say that women can't have strong hands, but it's a different vibe.
It's a different vibe, because
a man can't be nurturing like a mother. I'm sorry.
No,
He
we
can
can't.
try. He can. I mean, listen. You're
Not
looking at
no,
two
not
men right now.
100%.
You
Not
can look at two
100%.
men. Manny and I, we nurture the hell, but we are not.
Mhm.
We don't have bosoms. You can't nestle to our bosoms. We are very, connected, loving, but we don't have that extra to
Yeah.
that a mother would have. I'm just be real. And at
And
the
the
same
same thing
time,
that mothers don't have
exactly,
that with
no
men.
matter how butch or strong or independent, you're never going to be able to raise a child and give that masculine energy. And just like we can't raise our children, give them that feminine energy. We can do the best that we can, but there's certain things you just can't do completely. That's there's natural and synthetic. You know what I'm saying? So, and by the way, no way am I blaming single moms
No,
for the
no.
violence going on
I
in
blame
Chicago.
society 100%.
I'm not saying that at
because
all.
here's the other problem of it. You have children that you might have the best child, right?
Mhm.
As a single mother, single parent, whatever, you might have the best child.
Mhm.
Straight A's, very respectful, whatever. They get introduced to somebody the opposite of that.
Yep.
And now that plays a role into how they're understanding and seeing the world. That gets integrated into their lifestyle. And I'm going to say there's a percentage, don't know what it is. Those people fall into that life and they become a different person, and they fall into the streets, as you call it. And it's problematic because you have, and it could even be the same to be said for a child with both parents. They meet the one kid that's got the one parent, does whatever they want to do, the little asshole that everybody doesn't like, and stuff like that happens all the time. And it creates scenarios for these children, to have a bad, what do they call it? I can't think of the word. Influence. It's a bad influence on them, and kids are very influential, especially between elementary and middle school.
Yeah.
They're very influential because now by the time they're high school, that's when they want to start testing their boundaries because they're about to enter into adulthood. So you have your single moms that are raising boys, and then the boys are bigger than their moms, and they're like, well, one day they're going to snap. What are you going to do if they're that much of an asshole because of what they've seen outside the house? And that creates issues. I have my own personal, not that I've done it to my mom. I love my mom. I love you. Don't forget that. But I've been in a situation where I tested my own father because I got tired. I was entering my young adulthood, and I got tired of dealing with what I was seeing and what I was dealing with at the time. And I looked straight at him and was like, I threw it up and I was like, let's go. There's going to be a time in every young man's life where that's going to happen at least once.
Yeah.
Whether it's to their father, to their mother. And I hope to God it never happens to their moms, because women don't deserve that kind of disrespect from their children. It should happen to fathers because that's the line that gets drawn. It's like, all right, here's where you need to learn about respect now, because you can't learn that from a mom. You can learn that from a man. And a father will tell you, I will beat your ass and leave you bleeding, but it better me, somebody that loves you, than some stranger who's going to leave you out for dead.
Mm-hmm.
And that needs to happen at least once in every young man's life, because if not, they're going to do that to everybody.
You're right.
They're going to go around testing everybody. And then next thing you know, they're on the news that they died.
I want to make it very clear. I want to make it very clear. This is we're dealing with just one aspect of what makes what propagates baby mama culture. I'm not saying there aren't shitty guys out there that just disappear. But what I am saying is there are shitty women who have kids by these guys and make them. A real man would stick around and deal with it. Would they though?
No.
I honestly think that, as I honestly question sometimes. I'm gonna be real. This is full disclosure, and I don't really care. I sometimes question: did I do the right thing by sticking around when shit really hit the fan? Did I do the right thing for the kids? Yes, but at some point you have to understand that doing the right thing by you also translates to doing the right thing by your kids. And I wonder, did I do the right thing? Because as I became older and became the definition of a dream deferred, which is look at the other episode. I sometimes wonder, did I do the right thing by me? By allowing myself to deal with what the cards I dealt myself, and then the cards that she dealt me as the years went by. And her people can roll their eyes and she can roll her eyes. But the simple fact of the matter is, though, When a man has only been trying to do his best, especially when he didn't want to have kids, and all he asked for was one thing: leave him alone. Just leave him alone. And you couldn't even give him that courtesy, the same courtesy he gave you. Can you blame him for saying, look,
I'm done.
I'm out. I can't, and then just deal with the chips. When your kids show back up at 20, 30 years old, why did you leave? Listen, dude, I mean, it's selfish, but peace of mind, bro. In my age now, I finally appreciate peace of mind. If I appreciated it back then, I don't know if I would have stuck around, because peace of mind, you need peace of mind. And some of these women, and you guys have heard our stories in the past, mine, Manny's, Joe's, and other stories. And the typical, I don't know if we ever showcased this video. The one video where this woman had the gall to start recording her phone because she knew her baby daddy was coming to bring McDonald's to one of her kids.
Oh yeah.
But he was only the father to that one kid. And she felt so entitled, and she felt so like this is right. And I don't even know. She was mad at him and posted and tried to, shame him online because he brought food just for his kid.
One kid. Yep.
And that was wrong. That he needed to bring food for all her kids. And he's like,
and it's not even her man, by the way. This is just one of the baby daddies.
Yes, one of the baby daddies. It wasn't that. So he came and he was trying. She wouldn't give the food to him. She wouldn't let the kid go outside. She's like, well, does it make them feel bad? Okay, we'll come outside, let him eat it with me. I get it. I absolutely get it. And I've been in a situation before, not in that situation. My kid's mom, I used to let my boys go back to her with treats. We used to love going to 7-Eleven to get treats. She had other kids, and it became an issue with they'd come back with with treats, and either they wouldn't share or have a problem with sharing, and whatever. And so she said, listen, can you stop dropping the boys off with snacks? And I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. Guys will get treats, but we'll sit here and eat it before we go, and then I'll drop you off, and that's it. That's how I dealt with that. So I've seen this before, but the fact that she had the nerve, and I was saying, so what if that man, after she posted this and it went viral over the internet, right? You done. And mind you, when she originally posted it, I'm pretty sure his face was all over there. So you tried to shame this man. And some people on both sides, oh, that's messed up of him. He should have brought for everybody. Oh, but it's her kid. What I'm saying? What if he said, I'm done. Sorry, son, I'm out. Your mother is crazy. I'm out. Would he really have been wrong? This is what I'm saying. Would he really been wrong for just saying, I can't do this? It ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't worth this. I'll pay child support, or I'll do whatever else I gotta do, but I'll do my legal obligation, but I gotta get out of here. And I'll deal with it when a kid comes to my face saying, yo, why'd you dip out? Your mom was crazy, dog. But what about me? What about you? You'd rather have a miserable, pissed off father? Or what would you prefer? Because the grass isn't greener on the other side. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not supporting men dipping out on their kids. I'm not even saying I should have dipped out on my kids. I'm not even close to that. I'm fully secure in what I've done, how I've done it, and how well I've done it. But we all have doubts. And sometimes a doubt will creep in, or it has in the past, like not really recently, because we're rocking and rolling. But baby mama culture, where I can do this myself, I can be a mom, I don't need you around, and because you have that mentality, you one, you devalue the guy, two, you treat him in such a way that he's disposable. And then get upset when he says, all right, cool, you want to toss me aside? Well, I'll get tossed aside. Baby mama culture is dangerous.
Not to mention the next guy that comes in that tries to just be nice and accept the role as like the stepfather.
Yeah.
And he tries to do what he got. And I don't need you. Don't be doing shit like that. Like, whoa, God, appreciate that I'm here, bro. Like, what do you?
But then this is the same woman who's pissed off because and makes the guy's life living hell because he walked. Or shames him because he walked, but you treated me like shit. What did you expect me to do? Sit here and have you throw dirt in my face and not try and duck it and then eventually walk away?
So it gets stopped throwing in my face? Yeah.
First you're throwing that shit in my face. Throwing it in my face. Now I'm
Every
trying to
day.
weave every day, and I'm weaving and I'm ducking and I'm weaving and I'm ducking. But after a while, you get tired. Your body gets, and you just, you know what? I don't actually have to physically stand here. Why? What man in the right mind, decent man, not just even a good guy, decent man would say, "Yep, I got to deal with this.
Yeah.
I
I'm
gotta
gonna sit here
I,
doing this
I gotta
every
deal with
day.
this. I gotta deal with this every day on top of
Everything else I deal with.
everything else, plus probably you put me on child support or something. I might as well just, if I'm gonna be punished, then let me do something to be punished for and dip out.
Yep.
Baby mama culture is dangerous, and it's not just the black culture. You know, it exists. Women are doing this to men universally,
Everywhere.
at least in this country,
Mm-hmm.
universally. You know, instead of trying to make things work, you're like, nah, I'm good. I'm all right. You can go. You can do what the hell you want. I can do this because I can put your ass on child support and I can make your life a living hell. It's the thing though, because the consequences for them are I have to raise the kid on my own. The consequences for the man is in my opinion limitless, both emotional, psychological, mental, financial, and legal. I want to be very clear, man. You don't have any paternal rights upon birth of the child. Even if your name's on a birth certificate, even if you're married to her, you actually have to go to court. Like the courts dictate your parental rights. You don't have any parental rights upon birth of the child.
Nope. You either have to prove it or you have to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And sign for it.
Yes.
Legal on a legalized documentation.
Correct.
Saying I take responsibility
Yep.
for this child or children.
No, but not just that though. But not just not to say that you have no responsibility for the child, but you have no rights either.
No, I'm saying that's what
Right,
I mean.
right.
Your rights are forfeit until that happens.
Right.
Like they don't exist.
Right. And it's funny because nobody tells us this. Nobody tells a man when they have a child, when they get it's kind of like a version of a prenup. It protects you. You need to go and establish your parental rights in court. And there's nothing wrong with that. But of course, well, what are we going to do this for? Nothing's going to happen. Are you trying to say no? But you know, technically, I have no legal authority to this, to anything. It's crazy. You know, I bring it up because you know, I think I told a story once before. I had taken my boys to their doctor, and these people didn't have me on file. She never put me on file. So when I walked in there, they're like, "Well, who are you? What are you doing here?" What I'm their father. Well, can you prove that? Or and I said, yeah. So I was able to prove it. I want to make it very clear that I was their father. I showed my insurance card, everything that proved I was their father. That wasn't enough. You know what they told me I had to do? Can you go back home and bring court documents that state you're allowed to bring them to either to doctor or you're allowed to have them? I don't know what they were asking me. And I looked at them and said, is this what? Yeah. Just because she never put my name down as father, she actually put down her ex-husband, her guy. She put down, well, I don't know, allegedly. I have no idea about that. But she put him down as the father, right? And that's a whole other bag of cats, which is fine. You know, disrespect. I'm going to tell you, the disrespect is real. But when I proved, okay, that was an error, it was an oversight, because remember, she has other kids, so maybe they just assumed it was all four. I proved I was the father. I proved that they're with me, and they asked me, can you bring court documents that says that you're allowed to like make decisions or be with them? I'll never forget. You know when you go past rage that you kind of just go mute?
Yeah, I've been there.
Not mute where you're just like,
we've all been there.
Yeah. I went beyond angry, and I just everything, my entire body shut down. My kids saw me and they were like, oh, snaps. One of the few times I think they were afraid of what I would not do to them, but just in general, because they were old enough to understand what was being done to me. They're old enough to understand how incredibly messed up this was. Okay. And I had to, you know, there's many times that I, you know, like cursed out my kid's mom. And this would have been a great time and one of the many well-deserved cursing outs of her, but I didn't do that. I had gone beyond anger, and I guess I was so tired, like Pavlov's dog. You get shocked enough that you just sit there and take the shocking. And I just sent her a strongly worded text. You didn't put my name down here. That dude, whatever. I said, you need to fix this. She had to call them and verbally confirm that I was their father. To avoid me having to go back home to get court documents that I just happened to have because me and her, or not me and her, she decided to try and strip my rights back in the day. So luckily I was able to get in there and fight back. And so I had documentation. So I had my legal authority on paper. Could you imagine if I didn't have that shit? What if she didn't want me?
Gotten very far with anything.
Yeah.
That's the sad part of it.
So I'm making it very clear. This is baby mama culture. She has a baby daddy and does what he needs to do. I am, as a friend said, an atypical, because what do they consider a baby daddy? He sees their kids every other weekend. He takes them out for their birthday. He may pay for some stuff. That's what a typical, and that's what you consider a good baby daddy. What I am, and Manny is, and Joe is, we're hyperactive. We're atypical is what it's called now. We're atypical. You have an atypical one. And it goes for all three of us. I know guys like this. And you're going to still treat them like crap. You're going to lie on them. You're going to lie about them. You're going to stress them out. For what? For what? It's like you're trying to push away. So then, and then when I get pushed away, see, I always knew you were a fuck nigga. Just like that. Yeah. Just like that. That's what they would say. What do you mean? I was here with you, but you didn't want me to. Like, what?
I saw this video and it made perfect sense. It says the title of was How to Kill Baby Mama Culture.
Oh,
and the guy says, if you take away government assistance on everything for single parents,
this is what I'm talking about.
You will see
this
less
what
baby
I'm
mama.
Talking about. I absolutely agree.
Less baby. Yep.
I just that was the argument I was trying to make when I said that the consequences are vastly different for the man.
But that when you said that, that's what made me remember the video.
That's what I meant. That's where I was getting at. Is that exactly, because they have that safety net, they can be like this and treat them. I have the power because you know what I can do to you. Do you know what I can do to you with child support? You know what I can do to you with alimony? Yep. Because they have this in place. It gives them, and I'm not saying it's wrong. It does protect them, but it should be. But it's abused. It has been abused. Baby mama culture abuses this because whether you do what I say and stick around with the kids or not, I'm gonna get paid.
Right.
I'm gonna get paid. So you stick around and do what I say the way I want to say it, pay it the way I want to say it, or I'm gonna get paid. I'll just take it to child support, and that fear is supposed to keep a man in line. And if it doesn't, and very few women don't succeed that route. Don't bring a man to his knees and then still expect them to you know,
their shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. I couldn't believe how truthful that video was. Like if government assistance was completely taken away for single parents, not just single mothers, single parents, you will see a lot less broken households.
They would think twice
because no one has that safety net anymore, where because you'll have to really start thinking, how do I do this completely by myself now?
Exactly. And again, we're not supporting if it's really, and I mean really toxic.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. No, there are times where it needs to happen.
No, there are times it needs to happen, but because of that safety net, any little thing is now it's our full umbrella. You know, I'm a single parent because he works too much. Right. I'm a single parent because the guy did drugs and beat the shit out of me. But now we're all in the same umbrella.
Yeah, we're all in the same umbrella. Like this guy beats me on the brink of death every day. To this guy, he's just never home, and I don't like that. I need him to be around more. So
I need him to be around more. I need he's doing too much overtime. You know, he's bringing home too much bacon. You know, whatever it is. And again, we're being hyperbolic, but this is the truth. It's just a big broad umbrella. That when you think of single moms, all you think of is, the guy dipped out. That's it. And again, and I've said this many times, when it comes to telling stories and understanding people's point of view, whether two sides, the question is always context. It's why. Why did this happen? Was he always like this? Did you turn him into this? Did this reveal itself? What capabilities are you? Because I'm telling you right now, when you start asking why and asking people to really break down how it turned out this way, you begin to realize, dang, I got some responsibility in there. Very few times is it really just that one person's fault. Is it just the guy's fault? He made a choice to dip out. I can't condemn them much anymore. Much like I can't condemn guys who are put on child support, because when you think of child support on a guy, you think, oh, because he's not doing his shit. That I experienced it twice. Happened to me twice. Not because I had 2 kids, just twice in general. And I realized, wow, they'll do this to you, whether you're doing it or not. It's all about their mental state. It's all about what consequences they want to visit upon you. It's all about what motivated it. Could have just been an argument. You want to go to this daycare? You want to go to this daycare? Fuck you! I'm going to put you on child support.
It's the crazy shit that it's left to the mother alone to just make that decision. To go to court and be like, I want to put this guy on child support. Doesn't matter if he's been here every day. It doesn't matter if he does everything for the kids. It doesn't matter that he has the most of the time. I want him put on child support because I'm angry. And just that fact there.
Because you don't want to do what I want to do on my time, because you don't agree with what I want to do.
That's what bothers me. And that's been an issue that I've had for like the longest time, because it's just like, it's just that simple. It's literally just that simple. I don't like you today. Let's go to court. Whoa. Holy. I mean, all I said was Pepsi was better than Coke. Oh, no. Oh, no. We're going to court. Child Why is it that easy? It should never be that easy. We are strictly saying how the simplification of the process. We are not saying it shouldn't happen. There are a lot of fathers out there that are deadbeats that deserve to be put on child support, that are not helping their situation with their kids and their mothers.
But on the other coin,
the ones that are there that don't deserve to be on there, that doing their part, why are they being punished? It makes no sense for that.
I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, it's 50-50. Half of the guys that are on child support actually deserve it, and half of the guys, it's a consequence of the woman that they're with. I'm gonna throw that out there. It's probably not true. It could swing either other way, but I'm being honest. After my experiences and experiences of some of my peers, I said, wow, you know what? It's gotta be 50-50. Half of them are deadbeats, and of those half, you probably knew they were already deadbeats.
And it all falls under this little umbrella right here.
Yes, exactly. And the other half are guys that just can't get along with the woman, independent of how they are as a father. That's the problem with it, though. Is that when you put somebody on child support or alimony or whatever stuff, they don't ask you how they are with the kid or what time with the kid. They don't, but they don't, and they also don't ask, well, what are your intentions? Why are you doing this?
And they don't ask, how much help have you received now? It's just, how far back do you want to go? So unless you have receipts and the ability to back up what you've been able to help with, they can go as far as birth. You could have been living in the same fucking household. And that's the sad part of it. You could have been living in the same household. If you have nothing to show and prove that you've been helping financially, they will go all the way back to birth. And that's crazy how bad that is. That is crazy.
That's why you have to protect yourself. And it's a shame. You got to protect yourself. You do. And
can you imagine being in a relationship with somebody that you're either married to or you have kids with or whatever the case is, and you're just saving receipts? And what are you doing that for, babe? Oh, just for a rainy day. Dude, you never know what happens.
I've had a briefcase. I've had a briefcase for all their life with just documentation, just to protect myself because it happened. And it's funny because people ask me, okay, well, it happened the one time, like in 2007. But why are you still holding it? Why are you still keeping documents? I said, I'm telling you, I know who I'm dealing with. Boom, out of nowhere, 2012. And I was like, but I had my receipts. I was better prepared this time, But this is what I'm saying, is that these things happen and it's at their whim. And if you don't have the luck of having somebody like in the judicial system, whether it be the court attorney, the mediator, the judge, to question a woman's intentions, you'll be shafted. All right, here's an example, full disclosure. So when I claim that she tried to strip me of my parental rights, and that's an oversimplification or maybe a dramatizing, but when a guy has his kids half the time, it's literally half the time, and you go to court and you tell the court, I want him to only see his kids 4 times a month, every other weekend, and I have them full time. That's the definition of stripping him of his rights.
Yeah.
I'm just making it very clear. This is true to life. This is what happened to me. This is why I'm kind of, no, she wasn't like legally saying but no, she wanted all control, all decision making. She wanted me to only see them every other
8
weekend.
times a month or 4
every other
times a
weekend.
month,
And I'll make it very clear. This is verbatim. This is in the documents that I still have. This is what you're doing. Whether it was to increase your child support or whether it was just to get back at me and have more control because I wouldn't, you couldn't control my decisions or whatever, or you didn't want to have to work with me or make me agree on your decisions. That's what you were doing. If it wasn't for the grace of the mediator that was sitting there, the mediator, and thankfully she told the truth, understood the situation that from get-go it was half and half, verbally, and it's always been that way. And there was documentation for that. And when the mediator read, I want him to only see his kids every other weekend, the mediator said, wait, what? She basically said, no, this is the parental arrangement since the dawn of, she said since the dawn of time. We're not doing this. The mediator said that. Like, we were hands down. I don't even think the mediator could say that. The mediator said, yeah, we're not doing this. And she crossed that off the docket, period. There was no agreement. There was no discussion about it. She said, yeah, we're not doing this. This has been the arrangement since the dawn of time. What are we doing? I will never forget when she said that, because it was me and my lawyer, her and her lawyer at mediation. And I saw her, and it was a woman, by the way. And a woman read it. I want to restrict him to every other weekend, as opposed to half the week, every week going forward. Never mentioned I was always on call to get them whenever she needed it.
Right.
But I'm a shitty guy. Remember that. I'm a shitty father. So, and the mediator, bless her heart, said, and she, what? Yeah, we're not doing this. That's been the arrangement since dawn of time, and just took that off the docket. Hands down, never even went to court, because of course mediation, if you don't agree, whatever's not agreed upon goes to court. That was never even on the table for court. Never even brought back up again, because that was the most ridiculous.
And
one of the many
course of action. That is just
right,
crazy.
and it was just disgusting. It was one of the most disgusting things she tried to do. For what? I wasn't verbally abusive to the kids. I didn't abuse the kids. I didn't do anything. I actually was really, really, even then, I was even better then than I was when she tried to do it in 2007. And you know what I'm saying? So she had no leg to stand upon. She just wanted, just at a whim. I understand, I don't understand why the child support thing happened. But fine, women are greedy. They do this. We had a fight. You want child support. But I don't understand what in your mind thought that you could get away with trying to do this to a man who was doing right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, doing it. Like, how would you have justified? And what if and then I ask, what happens if she won? How long could she have maintained being a full-time mother by herself? Even though I think she had the boyfriend at the time, and that's a hell of a thing to ask a guy to be as a boyfriend or whatever it was, to be that, What happened if she won? Forget about the fact that she lost that part of it. But what happened if she won? And then I would have to have abided by that until unless we verbally made an understanding. And then what if I became complacent? Said, you know what? I might as well not see them at all. Take all the money, because you already have the money anyway. I'm good. I just stopped showing up on weekends or whatever. The typical guy, I'll come and never show up. What would you have done if that action drove me away? And then guess what you would have done? Badmouth me, right? It'd have been my fault.
Yep, it would have been your fault, and it would have been just one course of giant bullshit in hell. That's all it would have been. And
then come, and another what? They turn 20, 21. If they find me, blah 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 blah, and I'll be like, guys, look, this is what she did to me. I said, well, what about the weekend? Are you serious? And then I'd be the bad guy. And she would have raised these boys to think I was a piece of shit because I said, you know what? I don't need this shit. Mm-hmm. What is wrong with a man just saying that? We do right by your kids. Man, yeah, we do. But guess what? With all those little safeguards you guys got, you can strip me of all I've got, and I'm still doing right because you're making me financially do right.
Right. And then that's the other portion of it too. It's just like, just because the relationship didn't work out between the mother and the father has nothing to do with the children.
Say that again.
And that's just because the relationship didn't work out between the mother and the father has nothing to do with the children. It didn't happen
One more time.
The children.
One more time. Slower though.
One more time. Just because it did not work out between the mother and the father has nothing to do with the relationship of the children.
Thank you.
With the children. And
Thank
that
you.
That is a huge issue in today's society.
Thank you. Exactly.
And
exactly.
I'm currently myself dealing with the same crap right now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what you did to me, what you did to us. No. Us?
Uh-huh.
What do you mean us?
Mhm.
I didn't do. My kids are fine. What do you mean us? You just I didn't bend the knee.
Mhm.
Okay, that has nothing to do with the
What you did what? What didn't you do?
I didn't bend the knee.
That's my point.
Right, and
That's my point.
Shit. That is
what
where
they
all of
want
this
when they
comes
want
from.
at the time that they want, and if
Right.
you don't, you're the wrong guy. If you go back to the name of my enemy, when there was a huge rift between me and my oldest because of the whole last name thing, her justification beyond the whole whatever reason I wasn't there for the births, fine. And you can listen to that episode for that, folks. I laid it all bare. But what I'm saying is that part of the reason that she justified it is that I was very bitter when I had kids. Absolutely. Yeah, I was bitter, but I wasn't visited upon them. You can't give it a single example of where my bitterness affected them in any way, shape, or form. You didn't hear it, you didn't see it, none of that.
Right.
So what does mean? So you refuse last names because I was bitter, but I was bitter at who? At you.
Right.
I was bitter at you. What does that have to do with my right for them to have my last name? What does that have to do with the right for me to have for my name to be on the birth certificates? What does that have to do with me being a parent? I'm gonna put it on record that in the 18 years, and I've known her for probably 20 out of the 18 because we didn't know each other very long before procreation. We weren't even together very long before procreation. I have not been very cordial with her by choice. She hasn't earned it. She hasn't deserved it. I'll make it very clear. She hasn't. Based upon my criteria, based upon my experience. I'm not saying, again, is she universally a bad person? Shit if I know. I don't know the woman. I just know the reaction and the interactions I've had with her and that I've chosen to interact with her this way. However, that has nothing to do with her ability to reflect upon me as a father. She can't. She's got nothing to say. But then why you treat me that way? And I mean by treat me, not talk to me like crap. No. Project these things out into the world. Leave me off school documents. Leave me off records. Don't put my name down on certain things. Leave me out of the loop. Like these things. I have never done that to her. Disrespected her as a parent. As a woman, fuck yeah. I'm the first one to tell you. I can't. But as the mother, no. She can't point to one example. I've actually been handling her shortcomings. What the best she can say is what? Maybe I disagree with her with the decision she wanted to do. And some of her decisions were just ridiculous. But a lot of the things, vast majority of the decisions that were made, I just went along with it. And I wouldn't even know where they came about. One example was reflecting on my oldest. Mind you, darkness, again, most of the vast majority of the 18 years that I've known this woman, I have not cared to speak with her. I have not been nice, and I've asked very simply, leave me alone. You won't get my mouth if you leave me alone. We were discussing his allergies, and she had taken him to an allergist. I didn't know anything about it, by the way. Never told me. And they recommended like serum shots where he had to go like 3 times a week to get injected with a whole bunch of crap. Never knew about this. Why? She never told me. It's fine, And again, well, why do you ask? Well, you can't ask about something you don't know about. This is my reality. Times I used to ask her, please let me know in advance about these appointments so I can try and get the time off. Never would. So she could be able to project that I'm a terrible father, but whatever. And this is not. I didn't mean this to be a bashing her session, but I have to bring this up because this is baby mama culture. And I didn't say, hell no, you're not taking my son to get no injection. I don't know about this. When she finally couldn't, within I don't know, maybe a few weeks, there was a scheduling conflict where she couldn't take them. All I got was a text. Hey, insert offspring names here. Has these appointments to get these injections. Here's the address. You got to take them. What did I say? Okay. And I would go there. And I had my son getting shot up with these things. And I had to ask every once in a while, like, because I felt stupid going there and saying, what are you guys doing? So what I did was, this is what I did. I slowly, with each visit, try to inquire what's going on, because my son was too young to really understand. He just said it's my allergies. What does that mean? I've never heard of this. What are they doing? It was aversion therapy. It was like they're injecting micro particles of what he was allergic to develop tolerance, something like that. Allegedly, he had so much stuff that he was allergic to. Again, never saw that paperwork, so I can only go off what he remembers and what I was verbally told.
Right.
So I had to ask slowly because I was embarrassed. And I finally found out what exactly this was. And again, I didn't understand it. And I really didn't agree with it. But did I fight her on it? No. Well, you can. It's for his health. But I don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't told
make sense.
that.
Help me make it make sense to me so that I understand what's going on, please.
I mean, and well, you could have called a doctor. Yes, but what do I look like? Well, A, they probably wouldn't even know who the fuck I was. That's one, because of you. But two, what the fuck do I look like as the other parent saying, so what are you doing? What is it? Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? That's my pride talking. I get it. That's my pride talking. But what I'm saying is that's the culture we're in. And do I have the right to be like, no, this is stupid? No, because there's consequences. I let a lot of things slide, be out of complacency to appease, and she won so many things. I let a lot of things slide, and I never really, because I said, you know what, peace is more worth peace. Mm-hmm. And only when things really got stupid that I put my foot down. It's rare. She can probably point to a handful of times that I gave her a hard no. But you still made things difficult for me as a father. Forget as a man. I don't give a damn about what you did to me personally and what I did to you personally. It's not nothing to do with it. What have you done to me as a father versus what I've done to you as a mother? And then when you take these examples and put it out there into the world to other men, and then some men aren't as stubborn or don't have enough wherewithal and just say, that's it. I'm out. Because you treated them a certain way.
Yep.
Because you know you have a safety net, because of this baby mama culture, swinging it back around, saying that you don't need a man. You heard it in 1980 something. The woman said, I don't think a man's important for the household because I can do it all. I'm not saying you can't do it all, but do you have to do it all, girlfriend?
Why are you choosing to do it all?
Why would you want to do it all?
Right. Why would you not want help raising children?
Yeah.
You know,
or forget help. Why would you not want the other biological parent there with you raising the children?
Exactly.
There, and when I say there, not in another household together, I mean there, like present.
Just presently there, just actively being available and helpful.
You know, and so when I think about my stories and your stories and Joe's stories, I'm like, what if they had an atypical dirtbag baby daddy? What would they have done? Would they have treated him the same way? And if so, what would they have gained from it?
But that's what I'm saying. Like it for all of the crap that they've said, like, oh, like I've been said several times in the past, you ain't shit, you're a fuck boy, you're a piece of shit father, or whatever. Blah.
Yep.
For everything that I've been told, I want to know, like you just said, if they actually had somebody that they're describing.
Yeah.
You're calling me that based on your emotions and you know your emotional rationale. But if you actually physically had that kind of person in front of you doing what you're accusing me of doing or have assumed that I've been doing, how would you react? Are you gonna snap back and be like, "Oh, I fucked up. I shouldn't have said that"? No, you're just gonna be like, "Oh, well." You're gonna play the blame game and point the finger.
But here's the thing, though: we shouldn't have to think about that. The culture, the zeitgeist knows that this is the idea of a guy on child support is the guy of a baby daddy. He's a dirtbag. He's barely there. He runs out. You know what the typical idea of a baby daddy is, and you can recognize you don't have that, and you still can't appreciate it. You're still gonna say these things out of emotionality. Fine, you're emotional, but afterwards you don't want to be like, well, you know what? I ain't got it that bad. Like I said in this podcast many times, and I said it to her, I said, when it comes to baby daddies, you could have gotten way. And I would do this. I'd cut and paste it forever, and I would say it to her face, way worse than whatever bullcrap you're complaining about me. Because we all know what the typical idea of a baby daddy and a man on child support is. We know what it is. And you can, because you know that in the zeitgeist, you know what that is, you should be able to recognize when you don't have that and let go of the baby mama culture and just take the personal feelings out of it. Take the personal feelings out of it. Take it out. I can still personally feel the way I feel about you. I'm never not going to feel that way about you. But how is that going to translate into raising a no not whatsoever. For what? For what? But then I'll be the aggressor if I like, okay, like here's an example. So she, took me to court twice or whatever, and we had a disagreement about her allowing her stepfather to physically discipline our kids. She allowed it or whatever. And when I addressed, I said, don't lay your hands on my children. I don't even lay my hands on my children. Don't do it. And we disagreed. We disagreed with this, And I even why don't you go to the guy? I did go to the guy. And the guy told me, I ain't married to you. You're married to her. She lets it happen. And I treat all the kids the same. I said, word. I looked at him. I said, word. Like I said, bet. And I turned right around and I left the house. It was one of the few times. One of the I think I only approached him 3 times. Positive, negative, really negative. Bet, right? He's gonna keep putting his hands on my kids, okay? And I don't give a damn whether it's he's gonna physically discipline my kids, and I don't know. Do you know what she said? Do you think she she tried to contact me. I think right afterwards, before she tried to walk it back, and he tried to walk it back. You want to know what the first thing it was? So am I expecting a court order after this? Those are her first words to me. And I replied, you must have some nerve to think that I was going to warn you in advance if I was going to take you to court. I said, the only reason why you were thinking about this is because your ass has done this.
You're doing it. Yep.
You've done this. And so because you think I think like you. Manny, I'm not joking. The first thing after that altercation was, so should I expect a court summons?
You know what that's called, right?
What? Guilty conscience? I don't know.
Yeah, the mind of a guilty conscience.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, what I told you off air.
Yes.
You should hear all of the stuff that was told to me and assumed and I was accused of, and that person was doing it.
Yep.
And that's just it's the guilty conscience. Yeah. I'm gonna get mad at you and accuse you of doing such and such and such and such and such because that's either what I have done before or what I am currently doing.
Or you identify that if you were in my shoes, you'd do that. I want to get very clear. I never submitted a child enforcement on them. I never called child abuse services. I never claimed abuse. I never went to court to address it. I did bring it up in that stupid ass how I ever got suckered
mediation
into
no,
not mediation, the little stupid the ex-couple counseling. I don't know. I can't explain to this day how that ended up happening. I did bring it up then to make it very clear that this is still a thing. But what I'm trying to say is, and again, this is her way, this is her thing, it is what it is. But I never took it that far. But what I'm saying is that for that to be your first thing, not, hey, can we talk about this? Hey, can I'm sorry things went down like no, it was, should I expect a court summons now? And I think that's the reason, because she was thinking this way, she spoke to him, and that is why the phone calls came in and, oh, he wants to talk to you. He wants to apologize. I said, no, we're good. No, but really, we need to talk and apologize. No, I'm good. I'm done. You weren't doing it because you realized you were wrong. You realized that I had a leg to stand upon to fuck you over. But if you know what I'm saying? Again, if I chose at that moment, I would have been the aggressor. But if I chose at that moment, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. Sorry, boys, good luck. I'd be wrong. These are the things that push men away because of this culture. This baby mama, baby daddy culture nonsense. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. I don't think a man is important for the household. This is in 1986. That's what I played for you guys. It is 2023. Can you imagine how that has progressed now? To the point now, there's a term called baby mama culture that we and Manny just found out about like last week. We're like, this is a thing? What are you talking about? Like, what is that? I had to look it up before I got into this because I was like, what do you mean? There's a culture now where you will aggressively raise children and not care whether the father is there. Where you'll choose men who you don't care will stick around, where you will actively seek to stress a man out, and if he walks away, you don't care. What? Why would you do that? Why would you? And then he's a piece of shit. it's like I pushed you away, but then I got mad because you walked away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Final thoughts on this before we wrap this up, because it's really funny. It's like I didn't mean to get as deep and frustrated as I did with this, but like it just reminded me to like, wow, that's kind of what it was. And again, baby mama culture and single parent culture doesn't mean they can't end up dating somebody else. They're still a baby mama. They're still a single parent.
There's still somebody's baby mama.
There's still. I'm saying, to make it very clear, just because you get with somebody doesn't mean you don't stop being a baby mama. You don't stop being a single parent until that dude adopts them. You're still, because that dude has no legal rights.
He has no rights to them,
and there's no legal obligation. So even if you had children, the guy walked away, you walked away from the guy, and you guys had children, and you get with somebody else, and you even married somebody else, you're still a single parent, because legally that guy has to adopt your kids, so for you not to be considered a single mother. And that rarely happens. They just assume the responsibility, but they don't have any obligation. So, so final thoughts, Manny.
All I have to say is stop trying to treat this as an option.
Mm-hmm.
It is very important for the well-being and the mental state and health of children today in the future to have a solid and unified household. If that can't be achieved, then at least have a level of civility and a means to be cordial with each other, for the sake of the mental health and the children. Because the more that it happens, and the more that the separation of understanding and respectfulness happens, we're gonna keep having moments of Chicago. I mean, it's not even just in Chicago. Someone I know that lives in just 30 minutes north from here, their children goes to a high school and someone's getting jumped every day. That shouldn't be happening. Why are kids going through shit like this? This is something that they shouldn't be happy growing up. Growing up should be a learning process, fun times, carefree, because you don't have to worry about anything but school. And then growing up and learning how to be your own person. But to get jumped, to have to worry, to look over your shoulder every 2 seconds because somebody doesn't like you for whatever reason it is, because they just don't respect themselves and the way that they were brought up in the household, like the streets got caught up, like that's unnecessary. So just do the very best you can to make it civil and keep it civil. I'm not saying fight for the relationship and make it work, although if that is also an option and a capability, do it. But it's I don't know. This
is one of the rare times that I respectfully disagree, with Manny. One gentleman, get your ass to court. I know you're afraid, but I'm telling you right now, and that is the thing I'll repeat over and over again. It's the one thing that she did right was make us go to court, because it stopped a lot of the stress for me, because that's it. Right or wrong, the fighting has to stop, because you got a playbook you got to follow. You can amend it later. Gentlemen, go to court. Get these shit ironed out, and just take your lickings. You're gonna get licked, but take it, because it's better than that. It's better to get it one time in writing than to get it for a lifetime, and it changes by the season, by the cycle, by the hormone, by the situation. It's not worth it. Take one lick, get it in writing, and that's your licking that you stand by, because it changes. 1 minute it's great, 1 minute it's not great. 1 minute you don't know what you can do to set them up. 2, I disagree with the cordial part. I completely disagree. You can communicate nowadays through text, through email, and that's more than sufficient. And you keep it business-like. That's not being cordial. That's just keep business like. What time, where, okay. And you do not have to have any verbal or personal or physical in-person interaction around the kids. You drop off.
If it's an impossibility, obviously, I'm not saying you have to do it all the time.
No, right.
I'm just saying, just have a baseline. Don't just show up to the house and be like, "What's up, bitch?" Or "What's up?"
No. I'm not saying that either. But what I'm saying is though is that if I walk up to the house to pick up my kids, I don't gotta greet you.
No, and you don't have to. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
this is what I used to do.
When I say cordial, I mean like just again, like you said,
just don't be negative.
If you don't be negative. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything
else. So instead of being, because cordial has a positive undertone, you mean just be respectful. In a way, I guess just be respectful then.
Just be respectful in the situation, or like I said, either be on the same wavelength of respectability, and being cordial, or just be respect. Don't say anything at all. It doesn't. If it doesn't have to be said, don't say it. That's it.
And that is why I keep quiet.
Right.
Because I live and breathe and you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Don't say it. Right.
That's why we don't talk. That's why I don't contact you, because I have nothing nice to say.
Right.
You know,
and I'm the same way. I get the girls. Yes. I don't say anything. Have a good day. That's it. Even though that's just my way of being very sarcastic. I'm just being no. I don't mean it. Like, oh, have a good day from my heart.
No, I can see you.
It's
me. Stay blessed. Stay blessed.
Stay blessed.
Stay blessed. You know, like you know. No, man. It got to a point for me, and it's just forever. And she'll remember this. I would arrive at her mom's house or whatever the house, and I would ring the doorbell, and I would walk away from the door and go back to my car and sit in the car, put the hazards on. I wouldn't. I step inside that house for what? Why would you step into the dungeon of your enemy? Like, no, you don't do any of that stuff.
You shouldn't have to either.
Exactly. You don't need to do any of that stuff. You're doing what you need to do. You're off their property. You're on the sidewalk. You got your car ready. When they come, you get out of the car. You grab them.
Open the door, grab them inside,
and that's it. You don't gotta make eye contact. It's that's being childish. No, it's not. It's keeping your peace of mind. It's keeping the peace.
Yep.
Why? What was the point? So we can make eye contact, greet. Oh, and by the way, nope. Send it in a text or whatever.
Yep.
Just no, we don't have to. It's not required. It's funny because even that thing even said there's nothing at some point, there's nothing that's so important that can't be said in a text or an email. At this time, in this with this technology now. Actually, it's better that way because you have a record.
Yeah, because you can read it and you have a paper trail and you don't have to respond.
Right. And that's it. It sounds bad. Oh, you guys are so childish and so bitter. Oh, come on, guys. I mean, it's peace of mind, and we all need peace of mind. Some dudes just dip out. Other dudes don't make eye contact with you. Other dudes drink. I mean, it is what it is. But whatever we need to do to survive this baby mama culture. And that being said, thanks for tuning in to Last of the Nice Guys podcast. I'm Jason. That's Manny. And get to the next episode when we get to it. Peace.
The Last of the Nice Guys. Follow, like, and subscribe on Twitter and Instagram at Last Nice Guys, Facebook.com/Last Nice Guys, or email lastoftheniceguys@yahoo.com.